Smash the like button up, fans. It's a dark day in North London, innit? Maybe if we had some difference makers like this lad on the pitch, maybe we'd be celebrating something of our own. Guess we'll never know. People, Deluded, I'm back again. First things first, happy Friday, folks. Even to you Spurs fans who follow my platform, you got a great taste in YouTubers, not quite football clubs. It's a dark day in North London, especially my part of North London, because I don't know if you lot can hear it. They're jumping, they're around, they're celebrating, they're doing everything, people. As for Arsenal fans, all we've got to do is talk about the transfer business. Obviously, you know, we've got Southampton in the last day of the season. When it's all said and done, we ain't won a trophy. Later today, around 8:15, 8:30, yes, I'm going to have Kenny Ken, but we're here till whenever. Obviously, 4 p.m, we're going over to Rance's platform as well. You know, even though I'm not happy that Spurs won, but hey, you know what? We got some conversations to have, people. On the topic of conversations, big up you lot on Twitch. One love to you lot on YouTube. Make sure you're smashing the like button. And we're going to go over the transfer business. Big up to you lot who watched my last video that came out. David Ornstein's kind of updated us, or attempted to, where Rodrigo, Viktor Gyokeres, Benjamin Sesko's concerned. Chelsea, who tried to get Nwaneri for a few years ago, have been linked with signing him, probably owing to us football fans not knowing if he's actually signed that new deal. Apparently, Gyokeres is linked with Juventus, and he's also apparently broken his silence. Haven't read the article. So there's a lot of bits and pieces and isms and schisms to go through. As usual, appreciative to you lot tuned in. Subscribe if you're new. Big up yourself on Twitch. Hello, mate. Can't wait for that window to open and we get straight into business. De Niro, that's all we've got, man. But I must admit, I'm at that point now where it showed me, innit? Like, obviously, in terms of content and talking points and sharing my love of football with you lot, but we'll always talk. But I'm at the point, show me. If you want to win a trophy, get me my parade. If you want to strike a sign the players now. Lip service is done. The chatting thing is done. I'm not with it no more, really. Because when it's all said and done, the bottom line is we haven't won something. That's the only thing that's a question with Arsenal. Of course, I would have loved to have been a question, but had we have picked up an FA Cup or a League Cup, the goalpost would move and say it's not a major one, but nobody could really say anything. And I say it all the time, and I'm gonna die on this hill. Obviously, the footballers our players are the ones playing. They're the ones literally winning, losing, and drawing. But when I look at them, the manager, and those above the manager, boy, I feel sorry for the fans, like myself. I feel sorry for the players, man. Players have been running to the ground. People have rushed themselves back with injuries. People have had to need surgery and delayed it. I think the players have done all they can, and they needed reinforcements in the summer to uptake us to another level. In January, I'm not going to keep saying it. We all know what didn't get done. Ran out of steam. The last bit of juice that this team had was used against Real Madrid, didn't it? So it is what it is, man. It's another season of, you know, at the end of the day, it's where you start and where you finish. Of course, there's plenty of talking points around everything at Arsenal, but it's where you start and finish. In the 2024-25 season, there's no League Cup, there's no FA Cup, there's no Premier League, there's no Champions League. We're doing what we've been doing, which is some good, you know. For the large part of things, we'll moan, but we'll tick over, we'll win games, we'll have some fantastic games in isolation, the 2 against Madrid, more or less, until the PSG game. Well, even in the league phases, the whole of the Champions League, you know, summed up with Real Madrid. That's where it stops, and that's where the manager and the club need to go. You lot are a good team. You know, we're bantered about, not rightly so. We have to hold that. We're bantered around not winning silverware, not winning trophies, etc. But you have to be a good team if you're bantering people about not winning a league title, and this is the year you have to. But great teams do these things. Do I think that Spurs team is great? 100%. I don't, and I'm sure their fans will admit it's been a long season. But at the end of the day, When you win, you paint history. That team, whether Spurs fans rate this one and that one and Brennan Johnson's going down in folklore. That is the second trophy I've seen Spurs win in 17 years. That's the first trophy, that they've won in Europe in 40 odd years. Them man are going in folklore. The same goes for Crystal Palace winning their first ever FA Cup or major trophy. The same goes for Newcastle. We ain't done that. All I would say is I've been waiting for a European trophy with Arsenal my whole life. What's another year at minimum? By God's grace, I live many more. Premier League, I've been waiting 20 plus. What's a bit more? It is what it is. And as I said, I feel sorry for the players, but it's a reflection thing. Everybody has to look at themselves internally at this football club and say, did I do my best? Could I have given more? The answer to all of that is yes, because we didn't get over the line. Mikel Arteta, for your managerial sake, forget Arsenal for a sec. This is the one. I'm sure there's others, because compared to when you first walked in, this is like first world problems. But I genuinely believe in your short career, this is the season where you're going to learn a lot about yourself. What works, what doesn't work. How do you find that balance between managers need to be stubborn? Like Postecoglou just won a trophy being stubborn. Obviously, he was flexible in the one time, back five and all of that. Find that balance between being flexible and being adaptable. Trust in your squad. Those are, I'll be honest with you, with the exception of Berto, because he wasn't here, those above Mikel Arteta, I don't think you lot are serious. I know the January market's difficult and bringing in players and doing all of that. I hear all of that. But for me, I'll die on that hill. I think a serious people that is serious about wanting us to get anywhere, you make sure you bring in reinforcements in January. It was predictable, the injuries. Again, I don't want to sound like an expert because I definitely am not. Not saying the players, the fans, sorry, the physios are putting players out there to get injured and whatnot, but it's predictable. If you're a top six club or, a reputable Premier League club, the vast majority of your players, they're playing in 4 competitions. They've probably come off the back of playing in the Euros and the World Cup recently. And we all know for club and country, the fixtures, there has to be a correlation. Timber's come back from an ACL, had to play bare minutes. He's had little niggling knocks. Ben White, the same. You look at the Bukayo Sakas, the Kai Havertz's, the Gabriel Magalhaes's, actually the William Salibas. I'm definitely missing someone else out with a hamstring strain. These things are predictable. We didn't put our best foot forward. We did not control all the controllables. And it was a fallacy. As romantic as it would have been, it was a fallacy. Arteta said several times last season, we've got a tiny squad. If everybody's fit, we have a tiny squad. And even if everybody in that squad is fit, respectfully to these players, because I know people don't want to get injured, how many players would you classify as quote unquote durable? You expect Partey to pick up knocks. This season been a bit of an anomaly, been ever present. You expect Tomiyasu to play, maybe a lot more than 6 minutes in the Premier League. Zini and Jorginho and this one and that one's going to get knocks and players get injured. There's an element of complacency. I have no doubt the club tried to do things either in January or the summer, but in the same way we tried to win a trophy, we didn't do it. So that is the underlying factor. There's nothing to remember this season by, of course. The Real Madrid game, that will be going down in folklore, but there's nothing to sum it up. And it's one thing, me as a fan, but I'm going to be here to the day I die supporting Arsenal Football Club. Some of you players, some of you could leave and go to other clubs and win stuff. Some of you, if you don't achieve stuff at Arsenal Football Club, even down to the coaching staff and everything else, if you don't win major honours or any sort of honours here, you're never going to do it. And it's you lot that are going to have to live with regret. It's you, Mikel Arteta, that had to be, after you're comparing us to Liverpool, they're then asking you about the better season stuff with Spurs. It's you lot who did the Guard of Honour. It's you lot who obviously missed out on the last day of the season. The feeling of regret has to change. If nothing changes, nothing changes. And you signed up for this. You all signed up for this. But it is what it is, man. DJ, I beg you, keep G-checking the gal. He does too much on socials and must be told to humble himself. Allow that, Mr. Man. Big up a gal. Gal's calm, man. That's how he's a madman, but he's our guy, man. That's how he feels. I get a bunch of different content creators. Me, I said it to a guy. I don't know, like Twitter, I find Twitter a bit weird and toxic. And pardon me, I don't really like to play those games, man. We don't attract bozos no more. We have decent transfer pool, identify the areas needed, improvement, and bring in winners. I hear that, man. I feel dejected due to the last window in Jan. We didn't do enough to bridge the gap to City. We didn't do enough to bridge the gap to what we could be. Like, what did we sign in January that made us think, even though it's deeper than that, but we finished, 2 points off City? What player did we look at and think, you're an extra 6 point or an extra 2 point or whatever? And even that, I'm sure there was many a draws or points we dropped last season where it's deeper than that. If nothing changes, nothing changes. We assume nobody's going to get injured. We assume there'd be no dodgy refereeing decisions. We assumed everything would go right. And unfortunately, that doesn't happen. It does not happen in life. let alone football. So it is what it is, man. Winners win, losers explain. And, we all know the narrative around Spurs, around Palace, around Newcastle, around this one and that one. But at the end of the day, they won. And it's the year of the underdogs. And like, it should be us in the final, man. It should be us in the final, man. The banter's the banter in it, but it's like, bro, the banter, we're getting killed on, so we're getting cooked on social media, especially in this day and age of AI. Jay, appreciate the fact that you're a mod here because content creators, but look at this guy, man. Big up the commitment, though. You should be anywhere from Emerton Green to 4th Street to Tottenham High Road, but you're here with us, man. Big up yourself, man. Oh, mate, stress. Who assumed no one would get injured? I have to assume the club. I'm sure they're not. I'm sure not, but I have to assume. At the end of the day, I'm not a fly on the wall. I don't know if Arteta was saying sign this and you lot weren't listening, or you lot were telling Arteta to do this with the budget and he weren't listening. All my job is to be as an honest football fan, praise and critique you, wear fairly. And of course, if I was in the offices at London Coley, I'd think a lot differently. But that's nothing to do with me. My job is to be a decent. You lot the same. Go to your 9 to 5s, whatever you're doing. Be a decent human being. See what these lot are saying in the press conferences, what their goal is in the summer, and every week praise and critique fairly. At the end of the day, you're all in this. And I'm past the point of blaming individual people. I'll tell you, you need to pattern up immediately. I don't quite buy the pressure and all of these comments. Obviously, in the world of football, us on the ground, Sky Sports, all of them, undoubtedly, every year that Arteta doesn't get silverware, the pressure is going to be, from that angle, is going to be higher and higher. But really and truly, what pressure is there? What pressure? Because you got Champions League football. They will sit here and, depending on what narrative, all of these things are true, but we all know people paint narratives a bit dishonestly. People can hide behind injuries, sign the new deal, Champions League football's there, refereeing decisions and everything else like that. And if we skim forward to the end of the 2025-26 season, yeah, let's just assume, I think I said this yesterday, let's just assume everything kind of panned out the same way. Like literally this season happened again, yeah, where 2 semi-finals, beat a European giant and things. Are people going to say it's enough's enough, we need to change things? I don't necessarily know if they're going to feel like that, if those decision makers at Arsenal. And when I deep it, I'm not saying Arteta needs to keep his job, but at the end of the day, if he leaves, what's going to change? I've seen Wenger at the Emirates, who done a lot of great stuff for our squad. You know how much I love him. Sorry, club. Emre was here for 2 minutes. Lumber caretaker, another one here for 2 minutes. Arteta's come in. And has the regime really changed? Of course, we've started to flex our muscles, Declan Rice, all of these kind of things. What's really changed? And I don't say this to be disingenuous, but we need to get away from being romantic. I'm not even saying be negative or be romantic. Just cut the emotions. What have we got that's going well for us? What do we need to improve at? What can we learn from this season and actually the previous 2 years? What can we learn from other teams? Because the first thing is find margins. People want to sit here and say, oh, if we had the points we had last season, we would have won the league. Yeah, logically, that makes sense. But you can't paint narratives and dream scenarios and whatnot. It does not make sense. We've seen Liverpool get 90 plus points, not win the Premier League. We know about fine margins. And as cliche as it is, how much of a cup final every Premier League game is. The losses need to be reviewed. 1,000,000% the losses need to be reviewed. But honestly, the first step is draws. There's not one particular reason for the draws, but there's been some draws where I think we've dropped off a cliff defensively by our old standards. Defensively, game management, overall street smartness, phases of play, these things can improve. There's been games where we've drawn where we really shouldn't, because we should have put the scoreline beyond reasonable doubt. And you need to have that element. I'm not expecting Arsenal Football Club or any team to be amazing for 38 games, but there's probably three to 5, maybe even 6 games across a Premier League calendar where, let's have it right, the players or the team, like, we might just be shit and just have to get 3 points. We don't have that individual brilliance on a widespread basis to just nick games and whatnot. Even when I don't know why, but I watched the PSG second leg last night once again. I don't know why I did this. And there was an element of everything I can't remember everything I said about that game, but if you care enough, go and watch the review I put out whenever it was, yeah. But I was watching it, and away from everything else I've said there, do I think the players tried? Yes. Do I think it was courageous? Yes. But at some point, it just felt like our best ain't enough. Like it just you need. It's not the only thing, but you need some better players. We need some like designer clothes now or something like that in the wardrobe. We need some difference makers. We don't have that. We don't have that. You look at Liverpool. Not to big up Origi, not to diss him either. He might have only scored 7, 8 games and not been a major player for Liverpool. But those 7, 8 goals he might have scored across a Premier League calendar in the Champions League. That's a goal that gets you to a final. That's one that turns a defeat into a draw. It's fine margins. It's not good enough. And I'm not saying that to be negative. It's literally not good enough. You ain't won nothing. And fundamentally, the past 3 years now where we've been in, well, I would say this year was finally in, oh, right, can we win the Champions League? But last 3 years we've been talked about dining at the big table. 3 different years, different players, different contexts, different audit, different kits, everything different. Bottom line is we haven't got over the line. That's all I'm interested in. How do you get over the line? Arteta, clearly there's I'm not even being disingenuous. There's something you need to arrest for your own managerial career. Get into the latter stages of tournaments. You've come a long way. You still need to improve, but you've smashed the like button. You've come a long way from playing Smith Rowe as a false nine against Olympiacos, but there is something. Unfortunately, when things go right, I can't just praise the manager. A team, all aspects, is a reflection of the gaffer. You can sit here and tell me he's coached a winner and he's coached a win, etc. Do you know how many times across the season the manager's tactics have probably bailed out players' poor performances and vice versa? The manager's tactics have probably gone tits up and players have got them out. Unfortunately, there's been too many times where it's sink or swim. And we might have learnt to swim a bit better, but ultimately the current is too strong, man. And I don't want to say this. Please, nobody think I'm just slagging things off for the sake of it. This is it, man. You man can grab a little Conference League. I can't lie, it's dark though, man. It's dark, man. I've seen in my 30 years, it's dark, man. Like I've seen so many teams win the Champions League on a jammy one, like Chelsea, but I've seen Chelsea win the Champions League and Europa. I've obviously seen City and what they've become and go and do that. Obviously, win the Champions League. I don't really care about Europa like that, but it would be nice to win. Seen Spurs do it. I don't rate the Conference League, but it's not for me to rate. End of the day, it's a European trophy. And I must admit, man, like obviously I went chicken, got something to eat, not too far from the Spurs stadium. Like I want to, not what they got, but I want to see Arsenal fans moving mad and whatever. Like I went to the dry cleaners at like 10 a.m. I'm not saying I want this, but a Spurs fan was drunk off his head getting put in a bully van, a police van. The excitement. I want to see these things. We ain't seen these scenes. And obviously, do I think Spurs have had a better season than us? No, on the grand scheme of things, it papers over the cracks. But that's me looking at like a club to club because they're still 17th. There's still issues. The fans, all we care about is silverware or capturing moments, because let's have it right, football doesn't give much back to us fans, you know. Obviously we've got no entitlement, sport doesn't. It's filled with more lows than highs. So when I'm seeing, not that I care about their football club, but I'm seeing my Spurs supporting friends and I'm seeing people on the streets hugging each other. That's what it's about. And I want that in Islington, the proper side of Seven Sisters Road. Well, I'm from this side, so it is the proper side, but football in terms, you get it. And it ain't happened. Fortunately, I've been to parades and all of that with Arsenal, and I've seen my team, ironically, the two teams that played in the Europa League final, I've seen my team win the league at both them grounds. But at the end of the day, let's have it right. You can't call Spurs are still Spursy. Like 2 trophies in 17 years. The agenda's just adjust. But we can't dare call Spurs Spursy for at least 12 months. And whether I like our enemies or not, I'm a big fan of, if you're going to slate off a team, you need to give them the same praise. So the same energy would have been provided to calling them lot bottlers and this one bottlers and that. You have to give them their praise. It's another year of explaining. It's another year of fans expecting something. So it is what it is, man. At some point, and I ain't got the answers. I don't know if Arteta is the guy, not the guy. All I know is if there's another year like this, questions have to be asked. But it's okay though, because there's context and there's reasons and all these kind of things, man. End of the day, you start as you mean to go on. Didn't put our best foot forward in the summer. Didn't show any positive reactiveness, if that makes sense. In January, shot ourselves in the foot on the pitch. Far too many draws. There's not one single aspect, like one singular aspect as to why we failed. There's a bunch of things, but fundamentally, we have failed. We need to stop this courageous loser stuff. We've only got 53 likes. If you smash the like button, big up yourself. There's like 200 of you in here, man. You violated, man. Mods, you're not doing your job. Some of you are Arsenal fans. Ironically, the one Spurs fan who's a mod is actually doing his job and telling people hit the like button. What's going on, moderators, man? Arteta has one more season for me. He can be outsmarted in 90 minutes. For me, that like I think everyone's on borrowed time. If your name's not Berta and the other players, I'm not saying I'm pitchforks, you need to go, but you're on borrowed time. You might need to deliver things. It's as simple as that. I've said this before. The saddest thing is there's not a singular bigger fan of Mikel Arteta as a manager, just him, forget Arsenal for a sec, than me on YouTube. The problem is I'm not part of that cult thing. I'll give you your praise where due, and you have to face a lot of criticism, especially if you big the guy up. And I think too many people are loyal to, rather than Arsenal winning, then rather than Arsenal getting over the line, Arteta getting over the line. And again, if that's your thing, people. But there's just too much battle lines and it's jarring. And the saddest thing is whether you're on like balanced and I like Arteta, but something needs to change, or I understand the mistakes, but I'm gonna keep him. Those in the middle, or you're on the far left where Arteta could shit in his hands and clap, and that's great for you lot, or the man can do nothing good. Unfortunately, everybody's allowed their opinions, and I don't care what people think, but at the same time, they all want the same thing, which is getting over the line. Arteta said it last season. He said it himself, bro. I don't want to hear isms and schisms, bro. There is not context. There's always context, but the only context that matters for me is what did you say in August and what happened in May. That's it for me. Winners win, losers explain. And obviously, we're going to have to go through. We have to do the explaining, Carl. We never won. Like, we need to go through the contexts, but fundamentally, that's it, man. That's it. Arteta didn't care about trophies. This is on him. No point defending the guy. Big up DG. I still can't believe United let them Spurs Youths win something. United fans, I don't want to hear verbal, They call us bottlers, and I'm not here to defend Arsenal in that as much as I love us. If we're bottlers, then you could argue nobody is better placed to speak in than us. And by all means, you call us bottlers and whatnot. How have you let Spurs win a final? Why have you why have you lost 5 of your last 6 European finals? Why did your manager start Mount and all these guys? What's going on? Well, go on for man divided, getting done up by Lily Whites and whatnot. Crazy. And let's have it right, Spurs or United, whoever lost that, which ultimately it's now United, it was dark, bro. We bottled, bro. I know it's difficult to say bottled. I wouldn't even say we bottled the league because let's be honest, we were never really in the fight. I know we finished in second, but it was dead. That league challenge was dead. We got to the semi-finals of the League Cup. I think we bottled that. I'll be honest. I think we bottled that. I think we shat the bed in the second leg. I think we shot ourselves in the foot in the first leg. PSG looked a bit shook in the first 3 minutes. Didn't have the quality. Second leg, a bit more of a reaction, but ultimately didn't control the fine margins, bro. Is what it is. I know it's difficult to say, but it is what it is. Rance has to hold it today. Pause. United are just rubbish. Crazy. And you know what? Maybe for the greater good of English football, it was best that United that happened. But bloody hell, mate. I feel like Arteta complicates things instead of focusing on the basics. As I said, for me, this summer, Arteta needs to be given what he needs, not what he wants. Like, I'm not trying to make this about Havertz or Marino because they're not the biggest issues at the club, but there's no more of this multi-functional players you can play everywhere. No more spending big money like 65 million on Kai Havertz. I'm not dissing Kai because he's probably one of our more important squad players and one of our top goal scorers, right? But you need a striker. Make sure he's a gunman. If you can find a guy that does all the stuff you want up front, great. Everything needs to make sense. There's no more freestyling and winging now. Like, everything needs to make sense. What does it say that scammer wins trifling Reds won at the Emirates? We shot ourselves in the foot. Exactly. Shot ourselves in the foot. The FA, I completely forgot about the FA Cup. Easily one of the most frustrating performances of any competition this season. Big up to United for the time. Like, they were down to 10 men. It was courageous. Once it goes down to penalties, it's the luck of the draw. But we all know it shouldn't have went there. We struggled to put the ball in the back of the net. Ironically, like 12 months before, very different, but like 12 months before. Do you remember? I'm sure last season we went out the FA Cup. Did we not go out the FA Cup to Liverpool? Or am I making this all up? Either last year or the year before. I think it was last year. But it was the same thing. Bag of chances, and I still think our chance creation could look a lot more sexier and all of those kind of things, yeah. But it's the same things. We went out this year in the FA Cup to United. We went out against Liverpool via the same issues, not putting the ball in the back of the net, which is why, like, if nothing changes, nothing changes. I genuinely think, in terms of the stuff crippling us and stopping us going to the next level, what did you see this season that was new negatively like that wasn't there last year? Man said, stop being derogatory. Manager's trolling or just saying words. And You're saying stop being derogatory. You're being quite unfair to Babs there, aren't you, mate? Totally agree, DG. We need to keep it simple in every decision we make on and off the pitch. And again, I'm not expecting us to do everything this summer, but we need to do the bulk of things, especially with incomings. There's a lot to do. There's a lot to do. A lot to do. And I don't know how much you can get done in a window. There's contracts that need to be signed and given, people that need to be moved on. Berta is going to need a sub team. Like, boy, it is what it is. And I hope they deliver. I mean, Arteta must know something, quote unquote, because he seems to be talking a bit more with chess. But yeah, man, it is what it is. And look, let me look through my window. 1 second, folks. Man. I'm sure. Let me close this window there. Yeah, I can hear you. What was that? Carnival being on my... I guess this must be like living on Notting Hill Carnival, like the main carnival route. And not being able to go out, well, I could definitely go outside, but like just not wanting to participate. See this football game that we love? It's dark, man. It's dark, man. It's very, very dark. And it gives nothing back to the fans. That's why, you know, when I remove my Arsenal cap, as much as I hate them lot down the lane or whoever else has won stuff, bro, this sport of football is what we all love, innit? Like, and actually for managers as well. Like, when you win a trophy for that 24 hours or that hour, it makes all the suffering worth it. Like, if we use Spurs as an example, you know, yeah, they still got issues. End of the day, they finished 17th. I'm very sure they don't want to be there, and they'd probably be like United. Like, if you flipped, like if United won and Spurs lost, you know the talking points that would be said, but it somewhat makes all of the suffering worth it for the players. Like, for all of the good, the bad, the ugly, the highs, the lows, the coach, it makes it worth it. That dopamine hit for probably 24 hours, anything from 24 hours to a week. And then obviously once the season's done, the parade's done, signed in history, get back to going. That's what we need. And this is why I said I feel sorry for Arsenal players. I can obviously criticize when we've lost, or when this player could have done that, or if they're good enough, or if we can build around them and whatnot. But I can't ask any beyond the obvious. I can't ask anything more. And keyword, the players. I've seen young players stepping up, people playing with injuries, people playing that I didn't think had a certain level in them. They're clearly limited. Like, limited. You've drawn as much juice from the lemon or whatever Arteta says, and the light bulb, the power's gone now, innit? It's tired, bro. It's tired. It's tired. And for me, like, I've said it all, in it, really. It's been big up the day after the TNB. Big up you lot, man. Big up you lot. Big up you lot. I hope that's actually them. It's been a long season, draining, but let's see what happens in the summer. I hear you with the let's see what happens in the summer. And obviously we're at that stage, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Like, it really is what it is, man. Like, I was about to say not really a nasty example, but it's like, it feels like, like, if my dad, when I was a little kid, kept saying, yeah, I'm going to take you, what's that shop, man? They closed it, man. What's that toy store? Toys R Us. I'm going to take you Toys R Us. And every weekend, I'm going to take you Toys R Us. I'm going to take you Toys R Us. Every weekend, I'm getting excited. I'm going to see this. I'm going to see that. We're going Toys R Us. You're going to buy me this. You're going to do that. Eventually, you're going to say, I'm taking you Toys R Us. And I'm just going to be like, all right, cool. I believe it when I see it. That's where I'm at. I love this club, I love the lads. I'm very fond of the manager. To a degree, not with the Arteta sexual, but it's time to show me now. Like, the lip service is done. I thought, maybe I'm naive. I thought we moved on a bit from this, when Arteta came in, and I'm not saying it's because of Arteta, just to paint a picture. When Arteta came in, we all know the Emirates era has been filled with nonsense. Glaziders, we want to be buying level, this, that, and the other. And I remember Arteta's first press conference. I thought he was capping. I thought it was just managerial hoo-ha and all of that. Then we got into a level where me looking at Arsenal, I was like, all right, you lot are doing the chattings, but you can talk if you're going to go and do it. I'm seeing it. I'm buying into it now. Yeah. And I think we've gone back now. We've gone back to the chattings. You look at when Arteta and Edu came in, rightly or wrongly, ripping up contracts, needing to refresh things. We're kind of back in there now. I'm not saying we're going to rip up deals, but there's a lot of things that need to be done. So for me, show me, man. Show me. You want to win trophy? Show me. You want a striker? Show me. I don't want to hear we tried. And one of the things I'm very passionate about is, as Arsenal fans, we're used to knowing, like, when for example, we need to address several areas on the pitch. Like, I keep giving the party an hour summer. Remember, we needed an 8 and a 6. Depending on where you was there, now let's get 8, let's get 6. No, there's none of that. You need a left winger and a striker. You need to get both. Please, you need the options in midfield. You need the attacking reinforcements. probably need a defender or two, goalkeepers, etc. Put your best foot forward. Because even if you do all of that in the transfer market and we still don't win, obviously it will pee me off. But at least I'd say, you know what, fair play, man. But we didn't put our best foot forward. And unfortunately, we don't get to do the jammy thing. Like, we're not in Europa League when you've got Kat Yarabag and this shit United squad. We don't get to win the Champions League like Chelsea did on a jammy one, or when Man United did in Moscow in 1999, or seeing Liverpool come from 3 goals down. The football gods are not going to give us them kind of gifts. So we need to be perfect. I've had enough, man. I've had enough, bro. I've had enough, man. I've had enough. And a bit of a rude example, but you know what? Who cares? Unfortunately, my football club in the last 3 years, yeah, and Gally, apologies, yeah, but it's like I've met the most beautiful lady of my life. We're vibing, we've gone out for drinks, we're hitting it off, we're kissing, we've gone back to a secluded place where it's just the two of us kissing, feeling up my thing. Yeah, 4 plays going on, everything is happening. She's like, have you got a condom? Which is a myth, asking me about King, but allegedly. But you asked me, have I got a condom? I put the Jimmy on, legs are open, I'm about to go in. And obviously, for obvious examples, lads, it's like I'm about to go in, I can see it, and it's like, bro, it's not going up. That is exactly how our season pans out, bro. That's exactly how our season plans out. It's a lot of foreplay, not enough penetration. So I'm at the point now where, bro, yeah, no, there's no credit in the bank. Everyone's bank balance is negative. It's going up by interest every day. I remain true to my truth, and I think in my opinion, I'll call it wherever I see it. You're to blame, you're not to blame, but less of that now. I don't want to hear nothing, because if we have another season like now, you could argue that some would rightly say, yeah, you know what, Arteta, you've been backed, you've had long enough, you might be a success, maybe sacking you is the wrong option, but we need to try something else, because we might sign a striker and the striker is shit, God forbid, and they're not the guy. But we've also seen what not doing anything happens. And it's jarring now, man. Like, things need to, if nothing changes, nothing changes. Something has to change. I can see why people like the gaffer. I don't understand this undivine loyalty. I could understand if it was a Wenger or a Klopp, these kind of guys that have done things, maybe even Postecoglou now with Spurs, I could understand it. I don't understand the cultlessness. Neither do I agree with, the logical. I want out all of that stuff. I hear it in it. I think there's reasons that they bring up that are quite valid, but the whole effing blinding and just all of that, I'm not with it. But everybody's on borrowed time, and even that, yeah. If he's, as I was saying, if they sit there and they give him everything, and everybody has this mentality, which they had last summer, to be fair, of yeah, you need to deliver, you've been backed, etc. There's a group of fans that like to make these makeshift scenarios up in their head. What are they going to say, Roberto? There's one side, and many fans might say, you know what, Arteta, you've been the common denominator now. There's been different things going on. You still ain't got it. What are they going to say? Berta come in, Atletico Madrid, 12, 13 years, they let him down in the market. Some people are way more loyal to certain players, certain negative connotations, their gaffer, than actually our effing football club, man. It's jarring, man. That's the truth, DG. Feels like we're backtracking on all that, taking vibes from the manager. It's a vibe stick. Not serious. Unfortunately, just not serious. DG would look good in Liverpool red. Listen, shout out Liverpool, but I'm walking alone. I'm not here with you lot today, man. Allow me. Gavin, one love, my killie, man. It's a shame. Look, Don's like Gavin, front line. He deserves this. Nothing but facts being spoken. I wish, man. 2025-26 is make or break for Arteta. But is it really? Because you just signed the deal last September. Maybe what? Come the end of the season, my maths is poor, but I'm only gonna, like, if we're not doing what needs to be done and we're not having the conversations we want to have, I would only take much stock in Arteta maybe being sacked. I don't know when the halfway period in his 3-year deal would be, but whenever there's that, because our club, like, let's just assume, because I do think, there's many reasons to say, yo, give my man one more year, see what he's doing, blah, blah, blah. I also feel he hasn't got a leg to stand on for those logical fans that say, listen, I've had enough, safe, really and truly. If it's make or break, and let's assume that, yeah, the club not sacking Don. That means you have to rip up the contract for him, F off his coaching staff. Obviously, I'm exaggerating a bit, but if people want Arteta gone, rightly or wrongly, and the new man comes in, we're going to have to, rightly so, you're going to have to start again. He's got his own ethos and all of that, and there's a base of players. But for argument's sake, what if he says, I don't want Declan Rice, I want a new keeper, I don't rate Raya, we buy a new striker, no, this striker is not my cup of tea. You're going to have to, quote unquote, back him, no? Oh, well, Reports suggest Mitoma could be available for 35, 40 mils. An option should be take a punt on him. I would love it, and I've seen that before, yeah. But is it one of those where who was linked with Mitoma? I think I saw that yesterday. Was it Bayern? It was someone foreign, and it weren't Saudi. Bearing in mind, Brighton rejected what 90 odd million quid from Saudi Arabia in January for Mitoma. When I saw it, I thought the Mitoma thing was naturally 35, 40 mil. Let's get that one done. But it feels like it's one of them where you're sold abroad for much cheaper than you would if you was moving to a Premier League club, if that makes sense. It feels like one of those, if I'm honest with you. Rightly so, if you're Brighton, I want better than Mitoma. I want it as well, but boy, what do you mean a punt get Mitoma makes everyone better? It's a figure of speech, man. It's time to buy ballers. Yep. But people are too much people are and some Arsenal fans are in this trance, apologies, of field tilts and XG. And don't get twisted, nobody loves statistics more than me. Like, I love to sit there and look at XG and all of this, but the same logic is that doesn't win football matches. You need to put the ball in the back of the net. I think Spurs had something like one shot on target. Do you think they care about XG? And I don't want to praise them, but if Ruben Amorim sits there and after a final and talks about that dead, and also at the same time, that's become a common theme of ours. We dominated the game, possession, shots. These lot just didn't do what needed to be done. So if we've known this, how are we going to go against it? We lost to Villarreal, Olympiacos, and Sporting in Europa, and we have the nerve to talk about what Spurs doing, what was required. Dark days in it. Villarreal was dark. Sporting was dark. Of all of them, I think Sporting was the darkest one, because guys are scoring from the halfway line. My guy Martinelli missed the penalty. Villarreal was just foolishness. I don't know why I don't know why. To this day, you need to answer why you played Emil Smith-Rowe as a false nine in that. I don't know what you was on. Olympiacos dark. That's it. The only statistic that matters is the trophy, bro. And obviously, that's not sustainable. But oh gosh, just spilled coffee on my trousers. But yeah, style it. You get where I'm going. Maybe that was the ghost of Mikel. I want the best players in my club, and he's not the best in his position. I'm at the point. Mitoma, Rodrigo, Nico Williams. This one, just get me dons, man. Just get me guys. Just get me guys. And let's stop doing this. Players that should be on the peripheral, making them squad players. Players that are squad players, making them regulars, bro. Like, come on, we're carrying too many players. How many players of these in the last 3 years, like the regular ones, with the exception of Rash, you've been here for 2 years, have we said, you've done your thing? That over this 3-year period, there's been some players that have had good seasons and in different ones. We keep seeing the same things. I'm not criticizing Martinelli and Trossard, but you have to accept them for what they are. They're players that can help in the squad. They're players that are purple patch players, but they're playing in roles where we need you to at least do what Saka's doing, or 50% of that in terms of the numbers. I don't get at Kai Havertz. Would I have bought Kai Havertz? No. Do I think he's the prettiest footballer? No. Do I think every player has pros and cons and deserves praise and negativity? 100%. But Kai Havertz is one of our regular goal scorers. What is that telling you? For someone that you would not describe until he's walked up here and failed upwards up front as a prolific man, it's not making sense. Let's accept Dons for what they are until they show us anything different. Trossard, Martinelli, you man can be part of the squad. Havertz, Marino, striker thing, there's scope for that. But we need certain stuff. And if nothing changes, man. Absolutely sequence of events, an unforgivable decision not to bolster in January and still finish second. But that's the thing. They might say, you know what, we still finish second, even with all this quote unquote adversity, etc., which is true. You ain't gonna lie. But I'm moving because I've spoken a lot about Mikel Arteta and the players. I'll be honest, those above Mikel Arteta, with the exception of Berta, you told me everything I needed to know in the summer, and you told me more damning than that. You told me everything I needed to know in Jan. If I take the logic and I assume, let's just say Mikel Arteta was deluded, even though he was crying for attackers and said, I don't need any reinforcements in the summer. If you're a serious club, I know we're not Barcelona, I know we're not Bayern, I know we're not Real Madrid, but let's just assume like Arteta was saying that at their clubs, the people above him are going to say, fuck all of that. Pardon my language. You need X, Y, Z. Run out of steam, bro. It's predictable, but it's not, it's still disappointing. Like, oh man. Yeah, he did his thing. Like, I'm not gonna sit here. I've said this before, my guy, in a sense that, yeah, cool. I do agree with other teams would have fallen off and whatnot. Cool, that's great. And I back it. I rate you for that, because the same people that say, oh, I don't care about finishing second. If we drop below second, what's going to be said? And the club are going to like Arteta finishing second, because obviously everybody gets money in the Prem, but depending on where you finish in competitions and depending on the rounds, you still get money in. But then where does that go? We've known for the last two, maybe even, well, if you include this three, that we are one of the best teams in the league. Arteta says in Europe, we know that we're one of the best. So we should be finishing second. And we shouldn't, for me, I'm not interested in, and I don't think it's without logic, but I'm not interested in all of this comments about, oh, yeah, other teams would have fallen off. We're not like other teams. Not to say we're the biggest and baddest. We haven't got over the line, so we're the second best. We're not like other teams. We're better than them. We should be able to show a lot more adversity. And again, but how far does that go? This is why I said I feel sorry for the players. I can criticize Arteta, etc. But that's my point of what I said about January, and that the people above both of them, you told me everything I needed to know in January, because a serious club, and it kills me to phrase it like that, serious club doesn't let that happen. It doesn't. You get something. Bearing in mind, yeah, I'm not even saying Ollie Watkins was the be-all and end-all, but we were offered Ollie Watkins. We didn't go and bid. We didn't go and bid for him. We didn't go out there and say, yeah, you know what? Yeah, you know what? There's an avenue there. We were offered him. So now this is why, for me, everybody's in this. You lot have to get the fans back on side. It kills me to see new shirts coming out and I ain't got mine yet. But I don't feel aligned with what's going on. If Arteta goes, I'll still love my club regardless. He's like Wenger, protecting the club's image and decision in pre and post match interviews, defending madness. And it's true. It is true. But this is why I think everybody deserves criticism, because at the end of the day, like, as humans, we're indirectly selfish, and let's have it right and cut the romance. Mikel Arteta, as much as it's been beneficial for us to have you, it's beneficial for you to be Arsenal manager. You're learning a lot. You've been given a big deal. Maybe in other circumstances you could have, would have, and should have been sacked. You've developed a cult-like following. You're managing a big club. Like, you have to hold that, and you're not going to dish your employees. This is why, for me, it annoys me when people act like Mikel Arteta is a damsel in distress. It's not that. It ain't that. It's not that. If you didn't believe you could achieve what you need to achieve at this football club, why on God's green earth would you take the job? Bearing in mind, he rejected it the year before he actually got it. Why would you sign a new deal? The same as much as all my faith, I'll be real, is in Berta. But I don't even want to hear, oh, the Cronkies are doing Berta dirty. And they might have, and there's logic behind that. But you had a conversation with your employees. You know the environment you're stepping into. Get it done, man. You're earning peas, bro. I don't even care. It's not that I have 15 million. I don't even care about the fact that he's earning 15 million. But if you're earning 15 million, if you've been here for a while, if I rate you as a manager, Mikel Arteta. So I can't be finding excuses. Man, I need to be winning something, bro. It is what it is, man. It's what is there to say, really and truly, man? Sorry, man. Rubbish analogy. You plan 100-car journey and have a 6 flat tire across the journey. Is it your fault you only have 2? What? Rubbish analogy. You plan 100-car journey and have 6 flat tires across the journey. Is it your fault you only have 2 spare tires in the boot? Well, indirectly, yeah, I guess. Like, I guess you mean 100 cars. If you've got 100 cars, then you need to have, well, between them 100 cars, you got to make sure you got the tires, isn't it? If you know you only had 2 spare tires and you didn't check the pressure and whatnot, you knew that was a risk. I'm not sure what that means, but yeah, related to injuries. Didn't sound enough, bro. There's no way around it. And Arteta himself has said numerous times last year, we've got one of the smallest squads. So that tells me they know it. Because if you're saying that publicly, what's being said privately? And if they're not going and getting you what you need, then again, you know your employees, you know they're not going to give you everything they need. So you must believe that you can do what needs to be done. Personally, I think there's a bit of naivety. I kind of think, to a degree, Arteta knew he was fucked coming into this season based on how the market panned out. But we got, if anything, this is another reminder to expect the unexpected, because 1 minute you're beating Real Madrid, the next minute you're sitting at home with you lot talking, and them lot are celebrating being European champions. We love this game, innit? But it hurts. I remember Arteta saying he was very happy with Kai as a striker. We all knew he needed another striker, but Arteta said otherwise. I'm not excusing him. If I accept your words at face value, then yeah, 100%. But I think Arteta knows he needs a striker, and I think Arteta has to hold the Kai Havertz L. Not necessarily an L, but in the sense of he failed upwards with that. A bit like Marino. He tried to make them something in our centre mid, and it never really panned out the way I needed it to. In my opinion, I think the staff and the board saw the numbers last year, goals, injuries, and gambled. In hindsight, the winter is when they should have moved for a goal scorer. Richard, bang on the money. Bang on the money, man. Where's the Gyokeres DLs DG? Soon land, man. Soon land. I got to entertain you. Like, I feel rude when I'm commenting, man. Like, and all of that. Would you rather Arsenal get relegated next season than win the Champions Trophy as long as we win a trophy? Why compare Spurs to Arsenal when Arsenal was overqualified to compete in the league? Yeah, you're intentionally being dense, man. And obtuse. Okay. This is the sort of stuff. This is why you can't have genuine conversation. Yeah, intentionally. Yeah, I really. Yeah, come on. DJ, I take Visa and Mbeumo as squad depth options at Arsenal. You know I'm a big fan of Mbeumo. Seems like Brentford might be selling. Spare a thought for Brentford, though. I don't think they'll lose both, but you never know. And Ethan needs to be given more of a chance. I think he can make a big impact in games, but he's not getting the chance to play enough. Hopefully that changes next season, man. Smash the like button and sub. It costs nothing. It's free. DJ's getting onto the mods. You lot have one job. Mods, you lot are moving like Edu, man. Poor recruitment. Arteta won the FA Cup with a largely inherited team. He failed to win anything more with the team he's been building season after season. He needs to win something. And as a club, I know you can never stop evolving and all of these kind of things, yeah. And I'm just an armchair expert, but considering how long Arteta's been here, and you keep hearing me say the 3-year period, including this year, because this is when we've somewhat arrived, right? I feel like in an ideal world, I should be going into this summer like it's not a depth issue, or I don't even think it's a wholesale thing we need to do. We're going to do that, but it should be more about touching up the squad and and bringing in certain things. It feels like there's a lot more wholesale-y. Feels like we got to do a lot more than we should at this period, if that makes sense to you lot. It does feel like we took our foot off the gas, man. And whether we win or not, we're going to be up there. But you have to look at these last 3 years and think we've had a golden opportunity to claim something, man. Whether that's, I'm never going to say Champions League, but you can't help but think, 90 minutes away from a final, you never know. Definitely the Premier League. Last year hurts the most, This year, I wasn't really behind the title shout, as you lot know. The first year we went for it, nobody really expected that, and I don't feel ready. Last year, especially the running towards the end of the season, shout out Kai Havertz. This is why I can't dish your thing. Thought, you know what, maybe. I still don't believe it, but maybe, just maybe. But yeah, man, it just feels like we've had we should have won at least one Premier League, man. If I'm dreaming, maybe 2, number of domestic cups, maybe even a chance, but we should have got one, man. What has given me some comfort in the last 2 seasons, at least, is the fact that we've proven to be quite a match 9 times out of 10 for top European teams, but sadly not enough. You're right, and that's my thing. We're not as good as some people make out. We're definitely not as terrible, and the manager, you can question if he's the guy, but he's clearly not as shit as people make out. These players are clearly not as shit as people make out, and everything's not really wrong like that. The problem is, I just think there's an air of complacency, and when big up to everyone was here, we actually went back towards some of my streams in the summer, and I said, for me, going into this season, I hope I'm wrong, but it felt like for me, this was a year we either go up several gears or there's a bit of regression. And I think there's regression. Fair enough if you think it's stagnation. Between regression and stagnation, neither the direction me and you and everybody else wants this football club to go in. Get Fabregas. Can't lie, I got time for him. Joseph, one love, man. I think I'm going to ride next season out and not complain. Either I'll be proven wrong or it'll be I told you so moment. It all rides in the summer. I can't watch Kai up front. For me, I'm partial to that. I told you so, proven wrong. I just accept it as where I can see it, man. Just be here, win, lose, draw. Prove me wrong, innit? I'm not going to get my hopes up. I want us to win trophies. We need to go there, but not enough. I don't think everyone at the club singing from the same hymn sheet, and I feel sorry for the players. I really do feel of anybody connected to the football club, not us as fans. We are, but you get what I'm talking about. I feel sorry for I feel sorry for every one of those players. I genuinely do. Because imagine how they've got to feel. Like, You got Declan Rice in January saying, I'm sure the gaffer wants to sign players. We're playing Tierney left wing, which is still continued. Surely you're looking around. And again, whether I rate Arteta or not, the players haven't down tools. Maybe they've bottled it, maybe they've got stage fright, maybe they haven't done well enough. But Arsenal fans, we definitely know what it looks like when a player or players have down tools. Not one of them has. So cool, you're still behind Arteta. How are they thinking if we go away from criticizing Arteta? How are they thinking if, yeah, manager, we're riding for you, we're doing all of this, but we need help. Help is not forthcoming. Everybody's a bit helpless, which makes me question the club. And the ethos has to come from the club. It is where it is, man. Every one of the last 4 seasons of failure are linked to small, shallow, injury-prone squad that they seem totally not bothered about fixing. If I'm honest, I don't feel you can, like I've said what I think about Arteta. I just think too much people are left to their own devices at the club, if I'm honest with you. I think the club are just, I just think Cronkies and that are leaving, man, to their own devices. I don't think you lot want to win. I think you'd like to win. I don't think you want to win. When I see, I'm not acting like I'm watching all of their other sports, but they make movements, whether it's bringing in people, sacking people, moving their stadium, whatever. You make movements that would make me feel you want to win. I don't think that's extended to football. And I can't, unfortunately, have to accept that. Gaffer's not going nowhere. Owner's not going nowhere. It is what it is. Just prove me wrong, man. It's got to be 5 p.m. somewhere, right? We're definitely going to go buy more yak for sure today. It's got to be. Salute to you lot anyways. It's you lot's fault, you know. You lot make me upset. When I come here and we start speaking about football, this is when I start deep in everything. It's crazy, man. We need to be perfect, impossible. We definitely need to equip ourselves with everything needed to be prepared for anything and everything. And that's the bottom line. Need to be prepared for everything, man. Need to, man. Man said Spurs came and took Gally. That's a vile. Nah, and even Chelsea. If Chelsea got, because the Chelsea fans are so shameless. We completed the set. Batiste, please. Batiste, please. But I know Batiste are going to mess it up. Real Batiste are running jokes on social media. You're doing too much, man. How about you just wear a Liverpool top to see what it looks like on you? You're moving mad. I'd only wear a Liverpool top if I was part of the coaching stuff. You're moving mad. Shout out Liverpool, but I appreciate, you know what, it's always, like the footballers say, it's always, I appreciate the fact that, you know, you like me and I could get scouted and whatnot. It's always nice to be wanted by other teams, but my loyalty is to Arsenal Football Club, man. Smash their likes. Big up, Mac. It is what it is, man. Shout out Karma as well. It is what it is. Love the Toys R Us analogy. It feels like they might not sign Gyokeres or Rodrigo, just have that Arsenal feeling. For me, of course, you can't help but dream about Gyokeres and this one and that one. But as always saying, you lot say it as well. Until man are holding shirts and I'm seeing interviews. Yeah, Tony Adams this, Henri that, Bergkamp that. How far does it go? Even Super Mendy. Like, I'm sure if you work at Arsenal, there's relative confidence that the deal's done if it's not done. But to me, as an armchair expert and just a normal fan, I ain't seen man holding no shirt. Pardon me. You need to get the summer right, man. Just allow us fans to come out of the summer period thinking, pardon me, you've done everything that was required, man. The players are going to turn on Arteta next season. 3 years with no trophy while challenging for the EPL is going to make them mad. They won't have respect for him. Listen, Berto, my favorite morning show, Karma, you're far too kind. Berto, as sinister as it sounds, William Saliba, Bukayo Saka, give them the money, sell every dream under the sun, bro. I'll help you. Yeah, but hey, fam, you don't know we're gonna sign Rodrigo and Vinicius. Start capping. Just tell every lie, sign that deal, then it's your business. It is what it is. I appreciate Arteta developing the squad and taking the team to another level. But if next season comes, we better win the EPL. If not, fire him and get the entire board gone. I feel sick watching Spurs win the title. They're calling them the Kings of North London. If I was a manager for 5 years, failing time after time, I'm sure I'd get there in the end too. Arteta isn't special. Bit arch. Do you know what the sad thing is? I think he is. I actually think he's a special manager. But is it a thing where you need to learn what you need to learn at Arsenal and it's just not going to happen here? I do think you're going to be a very good manager. I think you are already. But I only care if it correlates with us winning stuff. And the biggest fear is Arteta learns everything, good and bad, gets a level of experience, F's off, and there's fruits of other people's labor. And at some point, we're going to have to try something different, man. Everything should be on the table, man. Even some of our fans are conflicted if Ange should stay. Exactly, naturally, and that just shows football fans are fickle, rightly so. I'm sure there was many a Spurs fan, oh, Ange out, he's rubbish, he's this, that, and the other. Levy out, this, that, and the other. I'm not even. This is just the nature of football fans. They win. Now you're conflicted. I very much doubt. You know what? A lot of fans of all football clubs, mine as well, talk about protests and things like that. Obviously it's not the time, but I very much doubt Spurs fans, because they from all the way, if you know about North London, all the way from Emirates, probably even beyond that. But the parade starts from Emirates Green, which is just a picture of row in it, from Emirates Green all the way to their stadium. There's bare fans out there. This is the perfect time for Spurs fans to run the whole Levy out. We want Levy out. The man are there, the girls are there, it's local, the fans are there. They're not gonna do that because they want a trophy. No one don't care about that. Football's a fickle game. Many people don't. If we won the league, nobody don't care about Arteta in, out, and that. And if Havertz is good enough, etc., fans should be conflicted. If I was Postecoglou, I can't lie, I would cut. I've done something Conte and Jose hasn't. I've won a European trophy. I've obviously got the wavy talking points. I think it's probably the coldest statement I've seen in my life, really and truly. I'm obviously, well, it's one of them. Wenger said we'd go invincible, and he did it. I remember that. Obviously, I win stuff in my second year. Klopp had something, I can't remember it. I'd cut. I'd honestly cut, because at the end of the day, when the parade's done, bro, however many losses Spurs got, things are going wrong. Obviously, with the Champions League, you might be able to gas 1-2 players to come in. There might be money, but I'd cut. I would genuinely cut. Sometimes you got to work to nines. You got to quit while you're ahead. The sun will come out tomorrow, bro. I hope so, man. I hope so, man. You know what? When you pray for sunshine, you got to go through the rain, man. Anyone got any other quotes we can say as Arsenal fans? Nah, leave all that Nwaneri stuff. I can't support Arteta anymore. 5 years, no cup finals, no Premier League. Sack him and give someone else a chance. I mean, even if I wanted the gaffer gone, like with Emery, as long as you're part of our family, you'll get my support. Need to raid Leipzig for Simmons and Sesko. I don't know for Xavi Simmons, man, because I think you're a baller. I'd have you at Arsenal, but are you one that you turn it on when you fancy it? Good player, great player, versatility, all of that stuff, but gonna cost big money, which obviously it's not my millions, not that I have any. But are you gonna show me that level of consistency I require? I don't know. I really don't. We're not an ambitious club with the current ownership. They're likely to keep Arteta even with another empty-handed season. I think individuals are ambitious. I don't think the people above the management are. Well, asterisk next to Berta, in it. I snitch on moderators less, said that I moderate the moderators. Are you not gonna have that? Crazy. Defo interested in more than just silverware. That is the output of what I want to see. Like no more windows like the last 3, buying scrubs from Chelsea and much more. Ah, man. Don't know what to say, man. Big up Gooner's family. Can Arteta allow the players more freedom to express themselves and play as they wish instead of instructing them to be more reserved and keep possession? And that's what I mean by Arteta has to learn stuff. Maybe, you keep being how you are. Like players need to stand here and that, but you give the players a little bit more freedom, and you do that. This is what I mean by this I think this season in my Arteta's short time, there's obviously been darker periods, but this is the year, yeah, you have to learn a lot about yourself for if you're going to succeed at Arsenal and being a manager moving forward. Genuinely, Arteta can't manage the amount of players he needs to be able to manage to get key results. Some results are baked in weeks in advance. It's the lack of rotation more than anything. Been telling man for years we need players off the bench, not world beaters, but different options. The manager has shown a history of burning out in the final third of the campaign since 2021-22, and the style of players regressed without the results. But man said, hold that. Of course, he's nowhere near good enough, but he's a good squad player and definitely not. No, man can't say Kai's a bozo. You don't have to like him. You can question mark why he's been signed. I still maintain that I don't really see what he brought when we bought him, but I've got time for Kai. You can be part of the squad. You're not getting shifted anyways. Like, I don't think Kai is that bad. I don't think he should be here. And if I'm honest, I think Kai is a lot more, and this is probably damning, but Kai Havertz is probably a lot more consistent than a lot more of his attackers. He's probably one of our more reliable attackers, bar Bukayo Saka, if I'm honest with you. Look at the run of form from at the end of last season. And I've got time for Kai. Shouldn't be here. Definitely shouldn't be here. But it's an agenda thing. I'm not saying you have to think Kai is amazing and things like that. He's pulled his weight a lot more than some of his teammates. It's more how it's the man who bought him. And that's no, Kai's not terrible, bro. He's definitely not sexy on the ball. Shouldn't have bought him. He might be horrible. You can't say he's terrible. You can't. Then you can't. How many times has he's pulled his weight a lot more than his teammates. He's made himself one of the more important players, which is damning on the club, not necessarily on him. Do I think Kai Havertz is horrible with my eyes? Certain aspects, yes. He's not sexy on the ball, yada yada yada, but he never brought himself to this club. He didn't put himself up front. It is what it is, man. I don't think nobody's lowering our standards. If anything, the fact that, you know, the club have lowered their own standards. How many times has he just run into players? I defo said, yeah, like, I'm not saying he's amazing. I don't think it's Schweinsteiger and Ballack and all these things. But Kai, show me you're down with this. Yeah, hella agendas. Marino, I must admit, there's a couple finishes Marino showed me up front. I'm like, yeah, I think Kai probably breaks his nose trying to do that. Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think he's pretty dribbling. I think his passing is mediocre. I actually think he's quite horrible. But in terms of being in the trenches and isolated and what you can do, I think Kai does his thing, man. And we can't flog him. I don't think Kai's a bad squad player. Now, if we're starting the season with Kai Havertz as like in our starting 11, this is my issues. If we bought Havertz for 45 M's, we don't have this convo. Probably not, but we probably would. We probably would. DG, bro, Havertz is horrible. Go look back at the goals he's missed. Yeah, no, bro, Kai Havertz is not clinical. I agree with all of that. But I don't think he's dead and he's rubbish and all of this. I think Kai has done his thing for Arsenal. I don't think he should have been bought. I don't think he should be as vital to the squad as he is, which is damning on the club. I don't think Kai kind of put a gun to no one's head to give him them wages. I can't sit here and act like I think Kai is mad shit. I don't believe that. Like, I definitely don't think he's amazing. But I think he pulls his weight a lot more than some of his teammates. But look at the hill we're dying on, man. I'm laughing considering how terrible Havertz is. Havertz, Martinelli, Trossard, rotation, bench settings next year. With the last 5 DG on that copium. How am I copium? Are people listening? How am I listening? Am I listening to what I'm saying? Please don't make it. I'm not part of the Kai Havertz hive and all of that stuff, you know. I'm not gassing up his thing. Like, I'm really not. Like, I've said we shouldn't have bought him, bro. Like, we shouldn't have bought him. Shouldn't be on the wages he's on. Maybe being devil's advocate, but indirectly, that sign has probably shot us in the foot more than I would have hoped. But Kai's been one of our more reliable players, bro. I know Marino's gone up front, and excluding that, and this is why I say it's damning on the club. Up until the Marino up front thing, rightly or wrongly, tell me I'm lying. If I'm lying, I'm fine. If you was naming Arsenal's strongest 11 at a point, Lewis Skelly can get involved now, but yeah, you would have probably had, at a point, it might have even been Timber left back and Ben White, but you probably would have had, you know, Lewis Skelly left back, and probably Marino now. Either way, you would have had whoever at left back. You would have had Ben White or Timber right back. The 2 centre halves in Magalhaes and Saliba. Raya obviously in goal. Partey, Rice, Odegaard, Saka on the right. Give or take, lesser of 2 evils between Martinelli and Trossard. Probably would have slapped Kai. How could we bench Havertz? Nah, G, no. He needs to. You're lying. At a point this season, or at a point throughout Kai Havertz's time, a lot of our strongest 11s has been with Kai Havertz. Stop the agendas and let's be honest. And as I keep saying, that's damning on the football club. Kai can't control that. That cannot be a conversation moving forward. Jesus, I feel bad for when he first came to us. He was electric. The injuries killed him. Unpopular opinion. I think, you know what? My hot take is, I don't think we sign a left winger, you know. I think Jesus becomes that. I can fuck with this whole thing. Kai isn't rubbish, but he's not good enough for Arsenal. That's cool. I don't know. He's a good squad player. I don't know about fantastic. People are using mad words. Yeah, Kai miss open goals. I'm not saying he's amazing, but you lot can't be whatever, man. Yeah, he was. When he came up, he was out for months, yeah. But that cameo from Kai Havertz, he looked like someone that was out for months, man. And he annoyed me because he didn't really get into the shithousery like he normally does. But it is what it is, man. Kai Havertz isn't good enough, but he's what we have for now. He's done a job like Marino up front. I'm not gonna lie though. Now, if we don't sign a striker, I'm trying to see Marino up front. It just looks a lot better. I'll be real, man. It just looks a lot better. Nah, DG, bro. There's no way you can say he done his thing. How? Okay, cool. And as I keep saying, this is damning on the squad. Arsenal's top goal scorers, please. Just from this year, please. Is transfer mark going to rise this up? This is tired, man. Premier League top goal scorers. Huh? Arsenal. And this is my point. When I just consider Kai Havertz for what he is, which is nothing to really scream and shout about, in terms of his limitations, I think he's got a lot more. How can I see who's the top goal scorers for Arsenal Football Club this season, people, and last? Because men lie, women lie. The numbers them down, innit? I find it crazy. You lot actually think this. I'm not a Kai Havertz stan. He plays for the football club, but I can only call it as I see it. You lot just don't like the guy, so you're gonna chat off, which is cool. And this is damning on our football club. Whatever you have to say about signing strikers and whatnot, who's up there? The man that been out for months. How's he not done his thing? If Kai Havertz is your most clinical goal scorer in the Premier League, this is what I'm saying. You're in issues, but isolated to Kai, and obviously there's been injuries. Kai was injured himself. He would have missed a lot of tap-ins, but he probably have a lot of goals. Brother, I've been out for how long? He's our top goal scorer. This is damning on the club, not necessarily Kai Havertz. A man that can never be described as clinical. A man that, let's have it right, failed upwards as a striker. He's our top goal scorer. He pulls his weight a lot more than the attackers, which tells you everything. Marino big him up, and you know what, Marino, you pull your weight a lot more than these two. I'm going to be brutally honest. We all know Saka is injured, but okay, cool. This season has injuries and nuances and things of that ilk, yeah? Okay, then. So let's look at last year. Bearing in mind, who was one of our, and this I know you lot are liars, yeah? Second half of last season, who was one of our more consistent players? You're telling lies and you're chatting shit if you do not say Kai Havertz. You don't have to like him, but what you can't do is lie. Yeah? Look at that then. Saka, bad boy, 16. Last season, what happened? Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? And again, so nobody can misunderstand me. This is damning on the football club. If I'm saying this about Kai, I don't think you're serious about winning titles. You need a gunman up front. We all agree with that. Come on now. And we don't, do we really want to get, you can see the point I'm painting. Do we really want to get into all competitions and all that foolishness on this fine Friday? Not quite fine, because them lot are celebrating and I can hear them. What are we doing here? What are we doing? But this is the thing. You look at that. Let's move it away. Yeah, obviously Rice has been bringing goals into him, and he keeps doing that. But you look at our attacking unit. I shouldn't be saying that about Kai. Saka is bloody mustard. We know he's scoring goals, all right? Trossard and Martinelli, you man are hot and cold. But the very fact that Trossard is up there, and Trossard has shown you in the last 2 years prior to this year's been a bit hot and cold. His first year, he was assist king. Last year, he chipped in with goals. The last 3 years, we know we're going to score goals, but with the exception of Saka, we don't know who is going to get the goals. Some guys have been, you've had Odegaard and Martinelli scoring goals. You've had, you've seen Trossard do it. Saka's the only one that's shown that consistency, and at a push, Kai Havertz. And maybe Marino as he's gone up front, and actually Declan Rice now. I think that's 2 years now. He's had his best goal scoring season. Not that there's a great case study because he's playing as a 6. What are we doing here? Like, come on now. Like, you lot can't be watching Arsenal. I don't want to say this for the sake of saying it, but you lot can't be watching Arsenal. What are we doing here? And how many games did Kai miss? Which is damning on the club. Berta knows. I don't know Berta, but Berta knows already. Berta knows what to do. I know. Big up Kai Havertz. She might still be up here. I know I'm going to see Sesko or Gyokeres or Isaac or somebody there. I know it's going to be serious. Come on, man. What are we doing here? How am I going off stats? I'm going off what I see. And I have to go. Obviously, if you score goals, you're going to have stats. The second half of last season, Kai Havertz was one of our more consistent players. I literally said it's damning on the club if Kai Havertz is one of your most, top goal scorers. He is. How can I not go off stats? Do you not win the Golden Boot if you scored the most goals? Do we not need to keep a record? What are we doing there? And again, I think you lot are miscomplacing it. I am not disagreeing. Kai Havertz is horrible to watch in the grand scheme of things. I am not disagreeing with a lot of that. I'm just not doing what you lot are doing. But we need a striker. Kai, you can be part of the squad. I'm not on none of this anymore, man. Bro, Havertz is starting up front for Arsenal next season, period. Less said that. You just got a Kai agenda. Is he not good enough? No, but it's not his fault. He's the main guy. Exactly. It's damning on the club. Saka has to do it all. went up front and scored in a couple games when we were winning for 5 or 6-0. It's not really fair on Kai. You lot got short-term memories, because when it was time to stand up to be counted in the second half of last season, who did it? You can't tell me. You're lying. Honest to God, you're lying if you don't say Kai. Kai was one of our most informed players in that second half of last season. See what Arsenal got us doing. But you know what? And let's not forget that assist in the North London derby for Bukayo as well. And you notice how I said these things and then drew for the stats, 13 goals. What are we talking about? 13 goals in the Prem last year. What's wrong with what I'm saying? Second half of last season, brother. Come on now. Let's not be dumb, man. Let's not be dumb. But less about Kai, man. Yeah, I think Kai is horrible. I never want to see Kai in midfield. Technically, obviously, to me as a normal armchair expert, you're good. But in the professional game, Kai's horrible, bro. I'm not disagreeing with some of these comments. I just think you lot are not being fair to the Don. But yeah, man, he can be a basic footballer. Yes, again, so no one can misunderstand. The man misses bare. It's quite horrible on the ball. I think he's better off the ball than on it, which tells you how much I rate him as a player. Can see why he's used for the heading thing and all of that. Again, shouldn't have bought him. But I do think he was one of our best players in the second half of last season. I think he pulls his weight in line with his limitations, especially scoring goals a lot more than his attacking colleagues, which is damning on the club. Kai didn't buy himself. Kai didn't put himself up front. Pardon me. And again, you come into the season with me still maintaining this about Kai, with everything I've said about Trossard and Martinelli. It's like we're building foundations to a house in the sand, really. So we could never have been serious about trying to win certain things, but it's all hindsight now, ain't it? Big up you lot, smash the like button. While we're here now, we might as well see the news and whatnot. That wasn't for you lot. I was reading that, but Chelsea had that night in Munich. United had that night in Barca. City and Liverpool, Istanbul settings. Them lot in Bilbao. Shameless thing, West Ham in Prague. We did beat Real Madrid away, man. Declan Rice said, do you think Arsenal can win the league next year? 1000%. I hope you're right, man. I hope you're right. Viktor Gyokeres makes fresh admission apologies over future amid Arsenal and Man United links. Man United still being childish and think they're buying him. Crazy. Apparently, he's made a fresh admission over his future amid links to both Arsenal and Man United. 27 years of age, has been in scintillating form. 53 goals and 13 assists in 51 appearances. Everybody's going to want that, innit, people? I mean, you can't disagree. That's pretty damn wavy. A possible move to Old Trafford has been on the cards for the Swede as he was managed by Amorim, blah, blah, blah. What have you said? What have you specifically said? Hopefully, you can expect I keep improving and scoring goals. We'll see. It's the future. Football is like that. You never know what's going to happen. As we saw this season, you never know what's going to happen. And it's the same thing now. We'll see what the future holds. A potential factor that could influence Gyokeres' decision, given his desire to prove himself at the highest level, is Man United's lack of Champions League football. While Arsenal secured a top 5 finish with a game to spare, shameless top 5, top 2, following victory over Newcastle last weekend, the Red Devils would be out of Europe entirely. Damn. It's tough. Who would you lot take, people? Gyokeres or Sesko? Again, to be honest, these stats have to be right because I'm sure Sesko's got 21 goals. 45 games, 21 goals, 6 assists. Obviously, Gyokeres has 51 games, 53 goals and 12 assists. I'm quite fond of Sesko. Gyokeres would be my one. Would you lot be happy if you don't get Gyokeres and you get Sesko, though? Because some of you must. Some of you must, because the way some of you lot are talking, you must. Juventus have been linked with Gyokeres. Apparently, he's definitely a name to keep in mind in their search for a new striker. He's leaving Sporting this summer, and his release clause is around 65 to 70 million euros. The England squad has been announced, people. You do have Arsenal's Miles Lewis, Skelly, Bukayo Saka, and Declan Rice in the side, people. Hopefully, we could say Arsenal's Eze as well. I'm not quite sure why Adam Wharton never got the selection, I'll be honest. How's Madueke managed that as well? Fair play, man. Fair play. I mean, Thomas Tuchel's a great manager. I'm an armchair expert. On Ben White, we knew Ben White weren't going to be there. He's still getting back to fitness. It's more get fit, do your thing, and you're going to go to the World Cup. Aaron Ramsdale wasn't there. Speak for him. He's made very strong progress. We had a talk and we decided at the moment this is not the moment because he'll become a father very soon. The baby is due during the camp. We wish him all the best for that. See, calm. I knew I liked Tuchel, you know. It's calm. It's calm. I call up Nwaneri as well, man, for no reason. Nobody cares about Howson because we never got him, but Arsenal presented a strong financial offer and broad pitch to Howson that demonstrated their determination to sign him. Mikel Arteta and Berta assured him of plenty of game time, something other competing clubs questioned. That was by The Athletic. Of course, that doesn't matter now because he's obviously signed for Real Madrid. Team News and Tix has said it's believed Benjamin Sesko is the first choice striker option for Arsenal. What do you lot make of that? Feels like we're going around the houses. We have gone over the England squad. Speaking of going around the houses, see, I try not to miss anything else out for you lot, people. I believe Sesko is first choice. However, Gyokeres is still there as an option. Who knows, man, really and truly. Good news for some. Apparently, Arsenal have withdrawn from the race with Chelsea to sign Leroy Sané, according to reports from Germany, people. Apparently, Arsenal are targeting a younger profile than Sané. Rodrigo, Nico Williams, Jamie Gittins are all higher on allegedly Arsenal shortlist, people. And let's be honest, like, it's probably a fact that Arteta's worked with him at City, the fact he's been here, free transfer. Yeah. David Ornstein has actually said we're currently deciding which striker to pursue between Sesko and Gyokeres. Surely we know. Now, if you want Sesko and he chooses someone else, you might pivot to Gyokeres, or you want Gyokeres and something's gone on there, maybe. But we've heard, and again, we don't know, but we've heard we've laid the groundwork going back to last summer with Sesko. So, and he scored 21 goals. Maybe you could learn a bit more positively and negatively about the player, but surely we've done all our scouting and our due diligence and all the homework you could do about the striker and where he could go. I think with Berta coming in, clearly Arsenal have probably looked at Gyokeres prior, but I think with Berta coming in, he's a bit more on win now mode. And you know, I personally don't think if Berta wasn't here, I don't think we go for Gyokeres. I don't think Partey signs a new deal. I don't think the rumours around Trossard, I think Berta's kind of on this win now mode thing. So surely we've already decided. Whether we have to pivot is another thing. Surely if we're still deciding, there's issues, because we're at that point now where, I'm not being funny, it's May. We all know the signings that are going to happen in the summer, the vast majority of them, they're probably agreed in the winter months of last year. So I don't know what's changed there, but who knows, people? Let me know your thoughts. Have we skipped ahead somewhere? Oh, no, we haven't. Apparently, Rodrigo is fully determined to find his best form and regain the trust of Real Madrid fans. He is not leaving. Ornstein spoke about Sesko, Gyokeres, and Rodrigo, people. He said, thanks for the question, Christian, who obviously answered the question. It seems Arsenal are deciding between which of those two strikers to pursue as their preferred target. Both are under consideration, but it's hard to know who's above the other on the list. We're not privy to the conversations. Generally, these situations often aren't as straightforward as higher or lower. There are many factors that contribute to such decisions being made, and even more to a move reaching execution stage. There are naturally pros and cons, but I must say Gyokeres and Sesko are two elite nines. Would you say Sesko's an elite nine? I mean, he's got 21 goals. Who would both make for an outstanding signing. So this should bring some excitement to the Arsenal fan base if one of them arrives. Gyokeres is one thing, but Rodrigo is really liked at Arsenal. But that isn't surprising considering how good he is. And it doesn't mean they'll recruit him. Again, loads of factors such as what are the club-to-club player and agent terms? Do Arsenal want to make a proper push? Is it affordable with all the other business they need / want to do this summer? But Cronky, I'm not being funny. Fuck PSR, bro. You got bread. I'm not watching the next man. You got bread. Make it happen. Like, make it happen. No, I don't want to hear none of that. Everything needs to go right this summer. Even the most patient of Arsenal fan and balanced of Arsenal fan is getting peed off. We just want to know that we've put our best foot forward. There's none of this. In Berta, we trust. I know you got me, Berta. I know you got me. I've never had a conversation with you, but I know you got me. I know we're not going out like this. We might not get these names, but I know we're not going out like this, Berta. I know you, big Berta, coming from Atletico Madrid, pipping Real Madrid and Barcelona to La Liga. Probably, I'm sure he must have been there when they picked up Europa Leagues as well. Must be nice to win a European trophy. I know you're not gonna do me like this. Please, man. Please, man. Anyways, would somebody have to leave? And if so, how likely is that to happen? Does Rodrigo want to join Arsenal? Who else is in contention? Yeah, people, you know my thing. There's no way in God's green earth I can say this word, so we're going to air that. As for Howson, we've gone over that. No one don't care about Man United. Is there anything else here? Adam Wharton apparently isn't going to be leaving Crystal Palace. Well, this is said that Mikel Arteta loves Kai Havertz. You know what? Because some of you are quite critical on Havertz. Arteta and everybody at Arsenal loves Havertz as a player and as a character. It is said he understands and implements what Arteta asks for extremely quickly and how the manager wants it done. His recent return from injury ahead of schedule will be viewed internally as a major boost to the club, especially heading into an absolutely critical season. Okay. On Thomas Partey, Arsenal are in talks with Partey, but an agreement has yet to be reached. There's also understood to be interest from abroad over a long-term deal. With Arsenal wanting Partey to stay and Partey being happy at Arsenal and in London, clearly there's a good chance he extends, but there's no decision yet and the outcome is currently unclear. Would you not give Partey a new deal? I hear it, man, but Havertz ain't going anywhere. We're going to have to stay with this. DG, in my opinion, Gyokeres is the answer to solve our forward line. I hear that. Yeah, I can't. I don't know what that is, bro. Anyone who wants to come on and who wants to come on and less wages, then Havertz is a prick. I'll be honest. If you're Gyokeres, Sesko, like even you, Sesko, because apparently last year you were saying, oh yeah, I don't know if I'll play ahead of Havertz. Any cold-hearted killer that's a number 9, with the greatest of respect to Kai Havertz and Mikel Merino, even Jesus, or anyone that could play up front at Arsenal, if you don't think you can bully that number 9 spot, don't sign for my club, because you should believe the same would go if I supported Man United, actually, because there's rubber stamped the number 9 position there. I'd actually say Chelsea as well. Apparently, Sesko is 15 million euros more expensive than Gyokeres. Well, Gyokeres is win now mode, but then, you know, the one thing with Sesko is the whole longevity thing that goes in his favor. All the guys are a risk, man. I rate Gyokeres only because of how he performed versus Arsenal. You could see in that game he was dangerous, almost scored despite pure service. Did smash up City as well, man. So Phil Foden, the world-class player as per Rio over Saka, has not been called up to England. Run the agenda. To be fair, though, I feel sorry for Foden. He was talking about mental health, and I know I like to run jokes and whatnot, but he was talking about mental health, and you don't want to hear that, innit? So we'll allow Foden. I don't know if this Goldberg knows what he's talking about, but he said, I was told by 2 very good sources that I trust extraordinarily that Gyokeres is absolutely Arsenal's number 1 striker target. There's a lot of people inside Arsenal, including Berta, that want him, and it could be a lot further down the line than reported. So they're just bare whispers. Everybody's saying stuff. Arsenal are planning to reinforce their attack this summer. Rodrigo is highly regarded. Lookman also remains a credible option due to his versatility. Just make sure Mandem arrive. Pardon me. Arsenal, once again, were active. Apparently, we're holding talks with agents and clubs for wingers. Rodrigo is at the top of the list. Once again, Lookman's on it. I'm on that. I'm having him. Apparently, Chelsea are reportedly among the clubs keeping close tabs on Nwaneri's contractual situation at Arsenal as they eye an ambitious summer deal for the England international. I mean, to be fair, Nwaneri, if you back you got all the quality, you could definitely play at Chelsea, but you'd be better off going somewhere else. They've got more players than they can count, if I'm honest with you. And at the end of the day, yeah, as much as me and everybody believes, without knowing, maybe he's got an injury or Arteta's got his reasons, clearly he should have been given more football. Clearly he's the future of the club. Clearly we want to see him. The end of the day, 11 goal contributions in 36 games. Where was you in August and where are you now? And he ain't even had this Lewis Skelly moment. Obviously, he's broke through. He's gone from being in the academy or on the peripheral to the first team to outright first team player now, getting a new number. I think he's number 22 next year. But he ain't had his Lewis Skelly moment, England call up and that. Like, there's a lot to come. I think in the short term, he's seen as a backup to Saka. Clearly, I want to see him exposed to playing as an 8 or a 10. I actually feel we could have got game time off the left, when more so when Trossard and Martinelli were struggling. I don't know when and if it's going to happen, but Mikel Arteta did say he could become a forward, innit? I mean, it would make sense. You know what Nwaneri's doing. We got real star boys around here. Clearly, if you're other clubs, you might not believe you can get him, but you're just going to keep your eyes and ears open just in case, people. Apparently, his camp have claimed, the TBR Football have now claimed that his camp have concerns about his immediate future at Arsenal. I hear it. First team football slowed down a bit, but then at the same time, and this is someone that believes he should get more first team football. Bro, you're 18. You've been exposed to football. Relax, bro. There's game time. His current deal is due to expire next summer. Arsenal need to pattern up. Apparently, Arsenal's development plan hasn't convinced his reps. Chelsea, Liverpool, City are all monitoring Nwaneri's situation. Face the fact to keep hold of him to sign that pro. Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Leipzig are also reportedly interested in Nwaneri. See, clubs like Leipzig, it makes sense. However, Football Transfers understands Nwaneri and fellow youngster Miles Lewis-Skelly are in fact set to sign new long-term contracts at the club very shortly. The pair were expected to pen fresh terms in March, but this was delayed due to Arsenal's run in the Champions League semi-finals. Dead that, make them sign it. We have also been informed Saka will sign a new deal at Arsenal this summer to keep him at the club beyond 2027. I'll actually believe it with these, man, when I see it in it. Get them to sign it, man. Nwaneri will have a lot of a lot of teams available and interested in him if and when the time comes. We're still linked with Anthony Gordon, people. This has said it's 85 to 90 million euros. Are we having him? Apparently, Arsenal put an enormous asking price on the head of Jakub Kiwior in a bid to fend off suitors interested in signing the Poland international. Although the 25-year-old has been linked with a move away from the Emirates Stadium, Arsenal have made their stance on the player crystal clear by putting an asking price of 70 million euros, 60 million on the head of the player. Fair enough. You need to stay, Mr. Polish Maldini. I mean, if you ask to go, then fair play. But newfound respect. Crystal Palace apparently had an inquiry rejected. We need to keep depth. You need to stay. Trossard's in advanced talks over a new deal. We have covered this, people. The process has been accelerated in recent weeks, and there is now growing optimism and agreement is close, as multiple sources have indicated negotiations are likely to reach a positive conclusion. Fair play. I mean, good for the squad, really. Arteta did say he wants Partey to stay. We have seen this already, so let's make sure he does stay. What's this? Liverpool and Arsenal have been alerted to the availability of a long-time transfer target that could solve their attacking problems. Who? Argentine journalist Mateus Palacios told, there's no way. He told someone in it that Atletico would be willing to consider Alvarez sell if they received an offer higher than the 75 million euros they paid Man City. Would you want to leave sunny Spain already? And we know we've been linked with Sesko, Iketika, and Liam Delap. Really? I don't think Julian Alvarez, especially as he was kind of, obviously before they won the Europa League, he was saying basically in the paper that I hope Romero joins us if you're an Atletico guy. Doesn't make sense. You just left shitty Manchester in terms of weather, won everything at City, and you're at Atletico Madrid where he's quality player. I'm having him. You lot saw my videos last year. I wanted him, and obviously he scores great free kicks. He's also linked with Barca. Don't believe it, if I'm honest with you. Don't believe, especially after one season. I'm having Julian Alvarez. Don't get twisted, but really, Portuguese league is sus. It probably is, man. But we've also seen what not signing a striker or taking a chance does. Mikel Arteta on whether Arsenal should be in the conversation if a player like Rodrigo is available. If you want to win major trophies, you have to be the best in the market. The teams that win have the best players always at this level. What do you make of that, folks? Again, Arsenal are, well, if you would load, Sky Germany are saying that we're very interested in pursuing him, and it's still difficult. But he's currently at the top of our list on the wing. Talks between all parties have started as revealed yesterday. Arteta did deny it, but we have to watch it. There's a lot of whispers where he's concerned. Would you really leave until you have a conversation with Xabi Alonso if you haven't? And apparently Rodrigo is convinced that he could gain the trust of Xabi Alonso and be crucial for Real Madrid. He'll only consider leaving if Alonso tells him there's no space. I very much doubt he's going to tell him no space. Newcastle have been offered the chance to sign Vlahovic alongside Arsenal, Nottingham Forest and Manchester United. His wage demands are 192,000. You probably get that in the Prem. Can I ask you a lot of questions? Forget Gyokeres, because I think I know you lot's answer, yeah? If you're offered Sesko or Vlahovic, which one would you go for? Like, let's assume Gyokeres has gone somewhere else. It don't matter what we want. He's not an option. Isak's not an option. Iketika is not an option. It's Vlahovic or Sesko. Which one would you lot go for, people? On Andrea Berta, Mikel Arteta did say, I think he's going to be a big contributor with his experience and the fact that he has already won in very difficult contexts, and the way he's built teams, he's exceptional. I think we have to share that responsibility, and Andrea is going to be a key part of driving the plans and ideas we have and to try and execute them. We are here to support him. I hope so, man. What is clear with, what is clear with the amount of injuries we've had in the front line is that we need a goal threat. We need the firepower out there and understanding that the context can change tomorrow. We cannot rely just on numbers we had before. We have to add goals. We have to add creativity. We have to add numbers, and that will be in different positions. Arteta, I hear you, and you're talking bossy. You and Berta, let's go, man. Netflix FC, we got one more year. Let's go. You know, let's have it, man. It's what we do. It's what we do. Oh, let's pause that. Hey, you're trying to get me done with copyright. I think the biggest thing is that we have brought the club into a position that next season you have to win a major trophy. If you want to win major trophies, you have to be the best on the market. Okay. Arteta apparently has held direct talks with Nico Williams in order to present his project to the player. Sources have indicated that Arteta's pitch looks to have put them in a commanding position to sign Mr. Nico Williams. Deco of Barcelona said Nico's a top player, but last summer, Dani Almo really smashed the like button, really wanted to come to Barcelona, showed confidence in the project, and so it made it easier for us. Nico did not do that. The Athletic did speak yesterday or the day before and said Arsenal's message to Martinelli has been that the club intend to keep their best players and count him among them. However, if a huge offer arrives, one that is also attractive to Martinelli, plans could shift. Arsenal value Martinelli above 50 million. Although his contract technically expires in 2027, Arsenal hold an option for an additional year and do not consider the situation urgent. No significant talks have been held over an extension. I mean, it's a bit weird to say, but could you imagine if, even if Martinelli did half of what Saka does in terms of output, or he was still doing what he's doing when he had that breakout season? We're probably just talking about a striker. I would like to see Martinelli play through the middle against Southampton. I've kind of gone off the ball with Martinelli as a striker, people, but let's try again. People are saying that Arsenal are targeting players they believe are currently undervalued but have significant potential. Apparently, Garcia, Mbuemo, and Sesko all fit that remit, or better yet, profile. Is there anything new? Hey, happy birthday, Rizitsky, little Mozart, man. My killer. But anyways, Arsenal's transfer strategy for attackers has been for Berta to lay the groundwork on multiple targets, so the trigger can be pulled on a unanimous decision. Berta has spoken to over 15 attackers, and it will prevent a signing like Raheem Sterling. Yeah. As part of his first few days in the job, Berta has held talks with the reps of virtually every Arsenal squad player member. Barcelona completely ruled out signing Nico Williams after he missed out last summer, so the race for him is still on. Don't know what that is meant to be. Real Madrid monster signing paves way for Arsenal to agree Rodrigo signing who? Let me guess. Florian Wirtz over to Real Madrid means that they're going to let Rodrigo go, eh? They've got a chance. It's a difficult one to pull off, no doubts about that. We know the Gunners are in the market for a new winger. Nico Williams was probably the number one choice for Arsenal to play on the left. He's now on the radar of Real Madrid. So if Real were to bring in Nico Williams, that might open the door for Arsenal to bring in Rodrigo. It's funny how some of these transfers do end up working out, or none at all. Rodrigo transfer is still not a priority for Arsenal. Interesting. United have gone for Mateta. I mean, is that something, if worse comes to worse, we should be on? Apparently, we've removed ahead of Chelsea in the race for Nico Williams, going back to kind of what we've gone over, apparently, about Arteta holding talks. Apparently, he wants 400 grand a week, as it says there. I think that's cap, but I don't know. Martin Zubimendi to suffer immediate Arsenal blow after verbal transfer agreement. It might not get off to the best start. What? He has a verbal agreement. According to TalkSport, it's claimed that the 26-year-old has informed La Real that he wants to make the switch once his 50 million release clause is triggered at the end of the season. But his hopes of keeping... Oh, you're talking about effing shirt numbers, man. Big up Zubimendi. Don't care about what shirt you're wearing. João Pedro's been linked with a move away and to us. I don't really buy it, but apparently Brighton insists that he won't be sold unless his valuation of 100 million is met. Liverpool apparently have joined the race for Nico Williams. And as you can see here, Real Madrid, Chelsea and Arsenal are interested. Newcastle among the clubs in the Premier League interested in signing Hato. You lot know how big of a fan I am of his. Vlahovic is likely to leave Juventus. We've definitely gone over that. Marquinhos is set to return to Arsenal with Carrizo unable to agree a new deal for him. Boy, it's just another thing for Berta to solve, man. Edu must have that Marquinhos still has to be dodgy. I don't write off players after highlights, but he looks shit on YouTube. It's crazy. Nottingham Forest have returned to the hunt of Botafogo striker Igor Jesus, but face competition from Fulham and Arsenal. 24-year-old who's only played in Brazil and the Middle East. I mean, if you can play football, you can play football. But, really? And apparently he's got a 28.5 million asking price. Tottenham to hijack who? Arsenal target who? Benjamin Sesko. It doesn't even make sense though, because they've got Mr. Solanke. Sesko, if you sign for them, you're a side man still. But anyways, they've also been linked with Xavi Simons. I know some of you lot will want that. Really? You never know, man. Weirder things have happened in this life. I mean, at least we're getting to see new links with Kivio and that. What's this? Rodrigo open to Arsenal transfer on one condition. What's this? He's only willing to leave the club this summer if Xabi Alonso informs him. Oh, okay. I walked into that one, didn't I? So that seems to be the transfer news, anyways, man. Boy, Garnacho is a better ball striker. Let me guess, Garnacho Martinelli. The bin versus the trash. I'm at this 24. There's a report about Gyokeres. I don't trust Zubi. I'll believe it when he's holding the shirt. He burned Liverpool last season. I hear you. Madrid let Odegaard go for a reason. They still have Ceballos. Where the hell is Madrid going to play Nico? That club is the definition of greed. I hear it. Neither. Nah, man. Banana clip. That's too easy. You have to get Vlahovic or Sesko. Come on, man. Who me the guy, man? We still have Tomiyasu. Is Tomiyasu AI or is he real? And you lot know I love him. I like Mateta as well. Boy. Arsenal being very interested is not good enough. Even Luton would be interested in Rodrigo. We need to hear offers made. I need to hear medicals are set. That's what I need to see. Or forget all of that. Don't track no flights. Don't do anything. Just show me Donny holding the shirt. Martinelli somehow worse than Garnacho. Less said that. Imagine both of them at your club. You go mad. Sesko's ceiling is higher, man. You know, he's tipped to be the next Haaland. Odegaard has been bad all season. He did one good pass in like 10 games. People go, wow, less than that. Don't slander the Capitan or get their likes up. You can't say neither, man. Big up to everyone who's actually got the bollocks to answer. Sesko. I don't rate Sesko, but therefore him over that fraud. Sesko. No one really rate. No one's rating Vlahovic's thing. Skip Vlahovic. The Arteta talk means nothing. He said something similar about Mbappe. Was that him or Wenger? I hope he's not. I've been through many a cat and dog. You never forget any of them. Trust. Not dropping Odegaard is a crime. He's been poor. When Odegaard got injured, the team looked lost. Why is it? Gyokeres has the power to play in the Prem. He's been in the Premier League, if not Championship. So what's it take to play in the league? Defenders be worried of him. Just score the goals, man. Just score the goals. I was disappointed by Arteta late season about the Ethan situation. Man, deserve more minutes. Pull up Kai Spring 2024. Didn't let us down. There you have it. There's no relax, DG. Relax, man. DG Ethan is more than good enough to play in Odegaard's role. I think he just needs to learn all that off-the-ball stuff that Arteta wants, innit? Once you got that, I don't see why you can't get more game time in that role. Plus, Arteta loves the captain. DG, did we sin as Arsenal fans before, or did something horrible or bad? Why do we deserve this effing manager for years? We're living in a Truman show. Damn. Look, man, at Arsenal be peak. Sign Gyokeres and Sesko, sell Havertz and Jesus. If only it was that easy, man. I would love to, man. This is what I'm saying. A man ran away from Havertz competition, but we should sign him because he's younger. Like, some of the best players in the world are currently signed from the Portuguese team. Bring Eze. 60-odd million, though. Rio just rage baits at this point. I mean, Rio Ferdinand does it for cameras. Gary Neville's actually a prick. Couldn't have happened to a nicer team. Just a shame about the team that benefited. Sesko. For me, we should sign Martin Zubimendi, Eze, Gyokeres. I don't care who we get. Man has to bang them goals. But Gyokeres is cheaper than Sesko. I hear that. Party deserves a new deal, like 2-year deal. I want Gyokeres and Rodrigo. Greedy, man. I do think though Max Down will make his debut next season. How much he plays, I don't know. Arsenal just need any of two strikers. All we need is one of them plus Kai. I mean, it'd be nice to get Gyokeres and Sesko, man. That's the type of stuff we need. Just pay the release clause. Gyokeres' clause is a fair price. But hey, just get me my players, man. 100% millions doesn't just get spent without significant planning. Exactly. We're not winging it. Sesko over Gyokeres. In my opinion, Gyokeres is better than Sesko. Sesko could be good still when teams try low blocks. In an ideal world, we get two strikers, but I can't see it, man. You lot in the chat, be nice, man. Come on. Be nice, man. Why are we doing the rudeness? Why are we being rude, man? Kill each other with kindness, man. I want Sesko over Gyokeres. Gyokeres clear for right now. Cool. Must be me. What's hard? Big up halftime hooks. What's he talking about? Must be you. Would you take Højlund? Right. Pour up another drink because people want to ask foolishness. Højlund, you know. How are you not a better striker, at least in the Premier? You're not better than Kai Havertz or Marino through the middle. You're not even better than Jesus. You're not. Arsenal actually, all Arsenal strikers that play up front, that I'd rather try the Martinelli for Højlund for what? Come on, man. Is it my phone or is DG connection moving mad? It sound like a you problem, player. Come on, people. Kai's not amazing, but he's done a job and helped us when other players didn't step up. That's all I'm saying, bro. But we can agree to disagree. That's the beautiful thing about football. Allow me, man. Havertz is a good squad player, back up to the striker and potentially Rice Odegaard. 13 goals in a side that got 89 points is a what? Is a very, I'm not sure what he said there in the circle, you know. I think spell check did you dirty. Don't forget Kai crumbling like a dry sandcastle in the FA Cup. Only waste of money this season with Sterling, man, offered nothing. But again, can we really get mad, yeah? Can we really get mad? Who told you to buy Sterling or get him on loan? How did it get to that point? Do you know how peak it is for us to get him? It's not our fault. We zanged ourselves. We wasted our own money. You can't have wasted your money. You must have known what you're getting with Sterling. DG Arteta is a criminal because he originally wanted Mount before Kai. It's crazy, isn't it? Tell me his best traits. H, he works hard, man. That's it. He works hard. That's about it, man. Bro, you just explained why this manager should be sacked for 15 mil and this much experience in football. You believe anything for 100% will go your way. No plan B, C, or nothing. Teta for you. Arteta and Havertz is staying. Get over yourself. I didn't say anything about that. DG, and that's who you thought would bridge the gap to Liverpool and City. 9 goals in 38 games is nasty work. I never said that. You're being horrible. You're being disingenuous. You're being disingenuous. People are seriously showing themselves for selective hearing at this moment in time. And don't do that. You know, I'm not being good. Havertz's best traits is off the ball, which tells you everything. And he puts in a shift, which tells you everything. All right, we got 160 likes. Can we get to 200? Put that man on timeout by accident. How do I fix that? Mods, help him. I got some. Jerome's my guy, but how have I got incompetent mods? Jerome might be Kai Havertz for the chat, you know. He's trying. His heart's in the right place. You're just not clinical. Man, I'm missing 1v1s. I'd go all in for Hugo Ekitike. There's a reason Newcastle went in for him first before they signed. Is that similar build and playing styles and would bang with Saka? Did they? I'm not sure on that, but I hear it. Onslaught said all these things are excuses for teams that don't win the league, and it's nice that if you have all these excuses that you don't have to use them, but you still just want it. Fair play, lad. If you time out someone by accident, you can time them out again for a shorter time, huh? Well, we're incompetent mods. The heart's in the right place, though, man. The heart's in the right place, man. You might have to get dropped, though. I can't lie. That's a new level of incompetence. Mikel playing Tierney left wing over Sterling, but wouldn't you? Man said Eddie was a crackhead at director. He let Arteta. Whoa, King. Whoa. You're doing too much, H. You're doing too much, H. You see, H, you're my guy. You're going mad. More, you're going mad. We're going left with it now. We're going left. Tranquillo, man. Tranquillo. I've actually used my eyes with what I've seen, and I'm actually agreeing with you. It is what it is, man. I ain't gonna. 2025 Arsenal trophyless. It's basically 3:45. I'm not arguing about Kai Havertz, bro. You lot say what you want, man. If we sign anyone like Nunez or Højlund, I'm done. But stupid ass, dumbass Arsenal fans say they rather choose the person with way more less goals versus the one that's literally leading European goals. But only 9 is worse than Kai Højlund. Imagine that. I don't know why Højlund weren't even that bad in Italy. I don't know why. Like, he's so bad. Like, you work hard, and again, once you start talking about working hard, which I did for Kai, you're in dangerous territory. But he's effing pony, mate. Pony. I can't lie, man. That want Vlahovic are a bit shameless, because how can you watch a man reject you and still come back begging? To be fair, Arteta rejected us and then we gave him the job. DG, wouldn't a front three of Cherki, Ekitike, and Saka be wavy? I can fuck with it, but I wouldn't say it's wavy. Like Cherki, baller, Saka, my guy. Hugo, I like you, but it feels like something's missing. I feel excited by it, but I feel it's a bit underwhelming as well. There's a report saying Gyokeres is the priority for Arsenal, not Sesko by Goldberg. Big up Goldberg, but is this Goldberg you say? Because anybody that, I'm not dissing him, but have you seen it? Everybody just keeps saying sources, reports, trusted. None of us can fact check any of this. I hear you, man. How can you commit a crime on license on YouTube, bros? Brazy comments, man. Leave DA here. I want this smoke. What is going on? A freed man and he gets himself lit in jail again. What is going on? What is going on, man? Do people realize that managers don't sign players and suggest the club the type of players they want as well as a list of players? Oh, is that really running? Kai Havertz has delivered cool down on the hate. DG, some people sometimes when they say things but never understand what they're talking about. I hear you, Khaled, man. Bro dropping his mods from the match day squad. You have to, man. Trust the standards, bro. This is the thing about life, yeah? Before you point a finger at someone, there's free looking back. You don't want Arsenal to have high standards, consistency. You slag off Kai and Odegaard in this. And some of the mods are not holding themselves to high standards. Now, don't call them stupid. You know, don't call them stupid. Don't diss my mods. But yeah, not everyone's progressing. Some of you are moving like Martinelli and Odegaard and whatnot. It's crazy. Only some of the mods. Big up the silent mods that just do their jobs, man. Some of you incompetent, but the heart's in the right place, man. I've never gotten so mad over a convo in a live until the Kai today. Fair play to Kai defense. Look at this guy. Let it go, man. Go bun it or something. Chill out, man. The reason I think we're getting Gyokeres, because all the Portugal reporters are saying Gyokeres to Arsenal. I'm more than happy to entertain the talking points and stuff, but bro, I need to see you in the shirt because I don't know. Because football's weird. Like, it's not the same, but Cody Gakpo, for example, prior to obviously him popping up and signing for Liverpool, all the talk was, yeah, he's going United, it's United, it's United. What happened? So nobody knows. Nobody knows, man. I am giving it a consistent 8 out of 10 every match day. Sometimes I hit a 9, I'm on form. Boy, I can't lie, you're good for a solid. Because you're always here. I'll give you a 100% attendance. I'll give you a 7 still. 8, you're moving a bit mad. You start scaring people and dissing them. But you're there. Boston's there. In the circle gets an 8 out of 10. Grumpy old git, but he's our guy and he's always here. Who else is there? Admittedly, Boston's there sometimes. I give Boston a 7. Sometimes a bit positive, toxic, but he's here. Nathan's here. Big up Nate, dog. Nathan a 9 still. He does his job still. I hate reading that Arteta has shown the process to Nico Williams as if whoever agrees with him might be welcome. I'd like to see if his process ever includes a plan B against a low block. I hear it. Muted? Sure? There's a reason we have a director of football as well as technical director. Football's moving away from managers being everything to them being a coach. Yeah, man. He's a manager though, man. 8 Gaffer, I know what I'm doing out here. Fair play. Who else is there? There's a couple of you. Big up my mods, man. They do their jobs, man. Big up my moderators. I'm a solid 8 every day. Today was a blunder on my end. 3 out of 10 a hot. You know what? Nah, Jerome's here. DJ, I'm billing one right now, thinking, how can Arteta still be in a job after 5 years, no trophies? Would you sack him if he was the owner of the club? Define sacking. I don't know. I would think so, but I don't know because I don't know the variables. I don't know his KPIs. Define sacking because there's many ways to define a sack. Why for that? In fact, I don't know, man. It depends because if I'm the Kroenke's brother, I'm not gonna lie. You got me Champions League football still. Like the money's coming in. I would, probably because. But I would say with Arteta, you've introduced me to one in these new kind of gaffers. Xabi Alonso, I would have tried to intercept that before you're going where you're going. There's a former man that used to play for our football club and also Barcelona and Chelsea. That seems to be doing all right in management. Define sacking, man. It buys you a bit of time. Fire's 9 out of 10. Man said, DG, you're a national treasure, my bro. Appreciate that, man. You know what? One thing I learned in this life, somebody asked me a question, I say define it. It buys you about a minute to prepare what you're going to say. Is mind games. I wouldn't sack him, but I wouldn't make him in charge of signings. And I'd probably sit him in the room and say, bro, where's the plan B? You know what? It's easy for me to say. If I own the club, you're not buying Kai Havertz. I'm not going to lie. You're not buying certain man. There's certain things you're not going to be able to do. And you're just going to have to hold that. Wait, just joining. BG, don't worry, man. Hey, BG, another 9 out of 10. Always supporting. Like, for example, if you give the manager targets to hit or achieve and he don't get it, would you fire him? But sometimes in life, you can get close. How far do you get? Sometimes you can be so far but near, and sometimes you can be near but so far. Probably. I think it's unfair to sack Arteta, to be honest. And is there any manager out there that be willing to join Arsenal that's better than Arteta? Life is unfair, and that can't be the rhetoric. You know, we can't just be here not winning what we need to because of that, if I'm honest with you. In the same way we got Mikel Arteta when it weren't cool to get him, when he was just working with Pep, there must be something to do. At some point, if nothing changes, nothing changes. DG went to political answers. DG went to political answers school with a PhD. A man said for 15 million a year, yes, any manager would join Arsenal. I hear it, man. I hear it. I'm just conscious of the time, yeah. I'm just conscious of the time because I've got 10 minutes until I'm going to be on Rancy's stream. So I'm going to cut this one short, people. As usual, my members, my moderators, if you're always here and if you're new here, appreciate you lot. Obviously, when I have time, I'll cut up the transfer a bit and pull it out for you lot. Sunday, when do we kick off? 4:30. I'll be live an hour before. Don't know. Should we do a watch along for the women's game tomorrow? Either way, the content will be content in. Barring any complications, I should be here at around 8ish with Kenny Ken as well. So yeah, man, you lot stay safe, stay blessed. In a bit, man. Mind games. Why give a straight answer? Where's the